In the United States, 10 primaries are happening in 5 different states in what's being dubbed Super Tuesday Part 4. We have a countdown clock for when the polls close in Pennsylvania, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Delaware. Hillary Clinton could clinch the Democratic nomination tonight. That's got Donald Trump cranking up his language. Here's what he had to say.
Do I look like a president? How handsome am I, right? How handsome? I'm looking at this stage of people, my competitors. Does Hillary look presidential to you? She doesn't have the strength and she doesn't have the energy to be president.
Stephen Schmidt, also known as Dr. Politics, is a political science professor at Iowa State University. He joins us now from Ames, Iowa. Doctor, thank you very much for taking the time again.
Thanks, Scott.
What are you expecting to see on the Republican side tonight?
Well, I think Donald Trump is probably going to sort of consolidate that myth that he is the locomotive that is headed downhill. There are no brakes on it. And Ted Cruz and Kasich are essentially hoping to at least pick him off a little bit here and there. But they have to wait for better races. He seems to be doing very well in the polls in the Acela corridor, as we call this. And he will brag about those victories as well as collect delegates. And I think, those are the two things that we're looking for, is that momentum, but also the building of delegates towards the 1, 2, 3, 7 number that the Republicans require.
Have Cruz and Kasich left it too late to start holding hands and cooperate?
Well, they are reluctant handholders, and they held their hands for just a few hours and then decided, at least Kasich decided, that he really did not want to give up voters for him in some of the upcoming states, in Indiana in particular, certainly not in the states we're looking at tonight, because Kasich really thinks he could be the compromise candidate. So that was a very short romance.
No love loss at all between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, but she is already talking over his head, really.
Well, Hillary Clinton is beginning to what we call pivot towards the general election. There's a list out of potential running mates for her. She is sending out messages through her surrogates and others that really Bernie Sanders should now wrap up his campaign and throw his support behind her. She says that's what she did with Barack Obama in 2008 when he was clearly winning. And Sanders says, no, look, California is the biggest prize of the year. I have a lot of supporters. I'm going to continue on. I think I can get super delegates. I mean, the super delegates are the secret if Bernie Sanders has any chance left whatsoever, and those chances are rapidly declining. He has to win. For example, he has to win in Rhode Island. I'm actually a resident of Rhode Island. I'm one of the only people that will ever be on your show who's a resident of Iowa, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island, pivotal states in this year's campaign. So if Bernie Sanders wins some delegates in Rhode Island, comes in well there, he can make a case. But it's a pretty tough road for him.
Doctor, Canadians pay attention to this race because you are, of course, the United States, our biggest trading partner. So much business done between the two nations. There was one person quoted saying it's been entertaining but disturbing, this entire race. What do you make of that feeling?
Well, it certainly has been unsettling. We've never seen anything like this, with someone with no political experience ahead, someone with very divisive and shrill kinds of positions on issues. Leading. But on the other hand, there is also the subtext here that Hillary Clinton is doing well, will do well, may get the nomination, and that if Hillary Clinton were president, even the Koch brothers, the biggest supporters of Republicans and conservatism, have said, we can work with Hillary Clinton, which is an astonishing development. And so I think Canadians should understand that this is far from over. And that Hillary Clinton would be very mainstream. And certainly we don't know what Trump would do with trade agreements, but I doubt that he would damage the wonderful relationship that the U.S. and Canada have.
Stephen, Dr. Politics Schmidt, political science professor at Iowa State University. Thank you very much again.
Again, Scott, thank you so much.